Greetings. I hope all is well with anyone who happens to be staring at this right now. Yeah, things have been a little hectic recently. I am actually reaching the point that I think I need to make decisions about whether I'm going to how professional I want this stream to be. Basically, I have to decide if I want to do this as something, if I want to start turning it into more of a job thing, or if I want to just sort of keep it as the light hobby that is not soul-sucking type thing. It's an interesting question, and one that needs to be explored, because there's a balance involved, obviously. It's not either or. But there's a lot of activity in this direction, and I need to organize. That's the thing. And telling someone to organize who's got the ADD OCD cocktail is a little difficult, but we'll see what we can do. Case in point, I neglected to, once again, do the social media, so let's do that as we are chatting here and making that work. It has been a strange week. Next week is going to be stranger. There's a lot coming up that I have to deal with as just sort of on a personal level, but I will not bore you with those details. But occasionally you have heard me refer to medical things going on, and some of that's I might have actual solid information next week, so hopefully that will help, and then I'll be able to figure out how to get the interference of that in my life down to a minimum. If at all possible, we'll see. So one thing is, I was talking about trying to do this thing as more of a trying to do a thing as though I'm trying to get income. I've begun thinking that maybe when I have delays like this, like I did today, I'm thinking about doing this thing where archive.org has a lot of public domain videos, shorts, things of that nature. I'm thinking about starting to make use of those a little bit and throwing those in so that folks will have something to look at. I don't know. Maybe. It's a thought, as a thing to do, either as just to throw on like an old cartoon or something. If assuming that I have to check out the rights and see kind of who's doing what, because Sonny Bono messed up everything. But as far as copyright goes for things like that, but more specifically Disney. But let's not go back into the past for that. But I'll have to figure out kind of sort of what I want to do with all that, just for like times when I'm going to get delayed, just throwing that on, or just doing it during intermissions in the RPGs, something like that. I'm gonna be thinking about it. We'll see. I do not have the facilities of a production studio here, so we shall have to see what one can do. One makes do with what one has. But now let's not dwell in the past. We need to go to about 1 billion years in the future. And in so doing, how do I write this tweet out? That's the important thing. Time for Torment. Yes, there we go. That'll confuse everyone. Hopefully not too much. All right, and we copy and we paste the link, and then everything as a whole is going to be all right. Yes, yes. Okay, getting that in there. Yeah. Okay. Okay, the links are sent. Now we must do this. There is no choice. That's the rule, by the way. You send it out on social media, it's forever. So let me close that window and get back to this, and we can actually figure out what the heck's going on. All right. So you go quiet, you come here, and let us continue. I think soon, sometime, I'm going to need to catch up in between times on stuff in the journal in case there's anything interesting in there. I don't want to dwell on the journal entries so much because there's already a lot of reading here. And I do not wish to necessarily make it too crazy. So, this device, when we last left off, we were messing with this device, and it apparently had activated these thingies, and we're trying to figure out what it all means. Among other things, I'm actually, once again, going to I'm going to switch to the upper left here so that I can make everything a bit more visible. Alright, let's see. I think last time I tried to, after I did something to activate it, I wasn't able to...
You weren't doing anything, right?
Nope, nothing. I was trying to figure out what this does. Yeah, I was examining the figures, reaching for the silhouetted... examining the machine, reaching for the silhouetted figures. I don't think I could get at them. Yeah, you have to find some other way to get at them. Alright. And so now, I kind of want to look at these since they're on now. And sort of figure out what the heck that means. Yeah, hello. More flashbacks. Who's that? As you approach this device, Circus Minor is thrown into chaos. Buildings are on fire. People are screaming and running for their lives while armored soldiers hunt them. None of them seem to pay any attention to you, though. It's some kind of vision, not reality. You glance down at the device. A series of images flit across its surface. They don't appear related to the changes around you. You see faces of other people and places, all of them familiar. So... Yeah, this is interesting because we're sort of in amnesis, but at the same time we're not. Look more closely at the changes around you. I mean, that's really what we're looking for here. Circus Minor is under attack. Squads of armored soldiers roam the streets, hunting and killing anyone they find. Mobs of people flee in terror, with only a few hapless souls trying and failing to fight them off. The soldiers are completely encased in jagged metal armor. You can't even tell if they're human. Looking beyond the carnage, the square in this vision looks wildly different. Many of the buildings that are on fire don't exist at all when you step away from the device, having been replaced by other structures. Okay. So this was some time ago. Yeah, sure, let's do that again in case there's anything different. Squads are fleeing masses, buildings remotely the same buildings as they stand today. You get the feeling the Sagas Cliffs in this vision is ancient. These events could have occurred as much as 1,000 years ago. Excellent, okay. Images on the surface. As soon as you focus on them, you feel a warmth on your head where your tattoo is. The images respond to your thoughts, slowing and changing at your whim. It's something about your body that allows you to do this, which perhaps means that only you can even see the images. Yeah, I kind of figured. The images respond to your thoughts, slowing and changing your whim. Okay. You immediately recognize the pictures as pieces of memory, specifically the 3 memories you saw back in the fathoms of your mind. Ah! Okay. I wonder if we'll get to look at all of these. I don't know. Let's look at the underwater city memory. The memory is recent. 2 men, both with tattoos like your own, are in an underwater city searching for something. Interesting. The denizens of the city chase them from the artifact they seek, and ultimately surround and capture them. I am wondering... So there's 2 men, both with tattoos, and I can't remember at this point what it was at the beginning. So I'm kind of wondering if this was a thing where... I was trying to think, well, is he one of 3, or is he supposed to be one of the 2 men? That's kind of just what I'm trying to suss out here. I would imagine this is a 3rd person observing. Anyway. As you review the memory, you get a strange feeling in your mind that you can only describe as a query. The device wants something from you. Suddenly you remember the memories in the device are possibilities, But you can lock one of the memories here, so it is the only one that displays. You don't remember what purpose that served, though. Okay. There are multiple of these devices, so I'm wondering if I can lock a separate one to each device. This is a good question. We will find out. Look at the valley memory. Somehow, you know the memory is from a long time ago, centuries ago probably. A man and a woman, both with tattoos like your own, are surveying a lush, secluded valley, seeking an ideal location for a hidden sanctuary. We'll look at the city under siege. Now, you know, this memory is ancient. It might have occurred 1,000 years ago. A man and a young girl race through the streets of Sega's cliffs. All around them, the city is attacked by a terrible people, the Tabat, you recall. It's all about the Tabat these days. The man takes them to an ancient machine somewhere in the city. Then he and the girl disappear. If we have to lock one of these three memories, I think that's probably the one, because this actually shows us the way to a machine. And, you know, it's in this city, so that's got something to do with it. So, I'm going to lock that one. The images of the man and the girl are the only ones that play across the surface of this device. They run past the enemy soldiers and then disappear at the machine in an endless loop. Okay, unlock the memory. Look closely. Okay. So, I mean, that strikes me as the match, right? If we're supposed to match it to what we see around us. Do we have to do this with the other devices? I wonder. Let's find out.
Yes. Now.
Yes. Now. Okay, strange feeling comes over you as you approach this device, as if someone were sneaking up on you in the corner of your eye. When you look, there's no one there. It feels like something is different, though, but you can't put your finger on what. A series of images flit across the surface of the device itself. They don't appear to be related to the changes around you. You see faces of other people in places, all of them familiar. Okay. And let's look at these changes. The changes are difficult to notice at first, but after a moment you figure it out. Circus Minor is the same, but the crowd is different. Most of the people in the stalls and buildings are not the same as those you've seen around the square. Those few you do recognize are younger by several years. Okay, so that's the most recent memory. So I think that's going to be this one. Yeah, the underwater city. Images of two men in the underwater city are now the only images in play on the surface of this device. They search for something, are chased, and then captured over and over again in an endless loop. Okay. It's a good thing we can unlock these, because I don't know if the sequence is going to be right. I have a good feeling about it, though. And now this one.
Yes.
Yes. Yes! As you approach this device, Circus Minor changes around you. People are dressed differently and speak differently. Whole new structures appear, including an enormous building rising from the edge of the square. You look down at the device. I'm sorry, I just imagined. You look down at the device. A series of images flit across the surface. Look around. Someone's completely different. All people are dressed strangely, and though they speak the truth, which is the language of this place, this world, they use many terms and phrases that you don't understand. The square is changed as well. All the tents are gone. The buildings are more colorful and less weathered. One building in particular rises from the edge of the square. A tower of purple rock, some 50 stories high. A mural is painted on the side, though you can't see the details from here. Neat. Okay. I wonder... I remember them talking about graffiti at some point, and I'm just wondering if that's like on ancient thing. I don't know. Trying to connect things that aren't necessarily there. Centuries old, that's the only one that's left. The images of the man and woman in the valley are now the only images that play across the surface of this device. They survey the valley in an endless loop. Aha! As soon as you lock this third image, a final surge of energy arcs through the air from the device to the clock itself. The clock shines for a moment, then becomes solid, fixed into a single state. At the same time, the device in front of you goes dark. The images disappear, as does the strange view of the city's past. And I wonder if those people that were circling around the clock are going to attack us. Let's find out. Now you can see them now. We got an addendum. No, that's just the cage. Alright, now. Okay. People. Should I, like, talk to them a bit before I stab this thing again? You fixed the clock. I knew you could do it. I knew it. She shoots a triumphant smile at Mimian. You must tell us what you saw. Who are those figures? Were they cast-offs? What did they say? Were you able to retrieve them? Give me a minute. Patience, Cass. We must first congratulate our guest. He turns to you. Masterfully done, revered one. A performance worthy of your sire. He bows gravely to you. You are most welcome here. Yea, thank you. He frowns. Unfortunately, your task is not entirely complete. We told you our price. That decision stands. Yes, yes. Return when you have the knowledge you promised. Yes, okay, fine. Let's mess with the clock. I'm going to save the game before I mess with the clock on that level because I don't know if I'm about to fight something. Don't know if they're going to be friendly when I let them out, if I can let them out. Tick. There goes Miner. More clockery. Yes. The machine is solid now. Each of the 3 clock faces shows a single time, though none of them point to any time measurement that you understand. You lean closer to the central clock face. 3 shadowy figures still lurk within, their features almost discernible now. Suddenly, the figures surge out of the clock toward you. Intense pressure strikes your head like a steel spike. Then everything goes black. Yay! I'll remember that. It says, okay. Skills have the following levels. Oh, that's trained to specialize. Uh-oh. Vargellin. Okay, there's a Vargellin around. That, as I recall, is an extraterrestrial being. There are a number of those that are now living on Earth. And they can rearrange themselves. So, how's it going in the mindscape here? Everybody okay? Everybody doing all right?
All right.
All right, good. I'm glad you're all doing all right. Is that a Vargellin? That looks kind of like a Vargellin. Let's talk to Kamos. Oh, these are the 3, maybe. 3 figures. The 3 figures before you are disoriented. They don't even seem to notice you at first. All 3 of them have a tattoo like yours. Cast-offs. Okay. Good. What befell us? The woman is dressed in powerful-looking armor. Her face bears several scars, yet her eyes have the innocence of a child. Did he do something? Are we still in the clock? What new torture does the changing god have for us? Well... Deviatiku. I do not believe so. The second figure is tall, dressed all in black. Its height is exaggerated further by a violet fish-like crest on the top of its head. Its large yellow eyes are squinted, scanning all around. There was a man outside the clock, but it wasn't... Villon. Oh, it's like they're in France. No. Villon. It was him, the third figure points at you. He is small, wiry, and tense, as though he expects danger. He carries a shield on his back. He's a cast-off, he says, looking at your tattoo. Can't say I recognize him, though. Who are you? The woman steps forward. We beg your forgiveness, friend. Brother, we have been through quite the trial. I am Kamos. These are my friends. Deviatiku. Deviatiku. Dai vaye tiku. Deviatiku. and Vion. And Vion. We are cast-offs, like you. She looks at you up and down, her brow slightly furrowed despite her kind demeanor. We were ingested into your head. I saw it. How is that possible? He eyes you suspiciously. Who are you? I'm a cast-off like you. I'm the latest one. I'm a cast-off like you. Nobody. I'm a victim here, like you. I don't know what's going on. I'll ask the questions. What were you doing in that clock? How much do we want to tell them? I don't know. I'm just going to say I'm a cast-off. She raises one eyebrow significantly higher than the other. I've met scores of cast-offs, yet you are new to my eyes and ears. How can that be? Diviatico is the youngest cast-off I am aware of. Have you remained hidden since your birth? Yes and no. Hey! Greetings. Greetings, Rourke. No, yeah, this it is fun. There is much story. Much story. And I like that kind of thing, although many do not. For there is much to read, but I do enjoy it. Let's see. Have you remained hidden since your birth? Sort of. Depends on what you define, how you define birth. I think we might have been trapped in that clock for centuries, Chemos. Something about it messed with our perception. The Vargellan looks up at the ceiling, or where the ceiling would be if there were one. Time is an illusion. How long is the wrong question? It turns its enormous bulbous eyes to you. What is this place? Where are we? Outside time we were, perhaps still are. Yeah. So it could be any of these things. Yeah, somewhere in my mind, I think is probably the most honest answer here because of how this started. Yes, so much reading. I'm lucky I like reading. The Vargellan shuts its eyes, 6 nostrils open wide as it inhales deeply. Yes, perhaps you are right. Our consciousnesses were ripped from our bodies when the changing god activated this clock. Then when you appeared, it happened again. Our minds ripped from their chronal prison. Chronal prison? Yes, interesting. Well, I mean, it was inside a clock. I mean, that much is obvious, but it's an interesting question about if there is that, if there's a temporal sort of prison going on here. It looks to its friends. I cannot be certain, but I believe this is part of some vast mental construct. He turns to you. Your mental construct. Yeah, probably. Wonder if the Sorrow's around. I'm sure we'll find out shortly. If it shows up and slays them. Vion's eyes become nearly as large as the Vargellan's. What, do you mean we just went from one prison to another? He grips you by the shoulders. You did this! You did this. If this is your mind, then let us out. I don't know how to get out of here. Why can't you get us out of here? Why did the changing god trap you on the clock? I don't see any way out. Let me look around. I'll be back. We calm him down, probably. I don't know. Why did the changing god trap you on the clock? I mean, yeah, it's either distract him or, Yeah, let's first off just say, I don't know. Relax, friend brother. Whether for days or centuries we survived that clock, we will survive this. If time is an illusion, then it is not our enemy. We will find a way. Okay. Again, it's more of a... I can ask all of these, apparently. Or perhaps. Why? Yes. Yes, she looks down embarrassed. The 3 of us once worked alongside our sire, helping him with his research after he'd brought the Order of Truth to Sega's Cliffs. We saw him for what he was, selfish, arrogant. Ah! Maralel helped us to see. I wonder what has become of her since we were imprisoned. We might want to remember that name. I'm finally writing something down. Well, I mean, there's so much in the journal. But I'll write that down just in case. Alright. I do enjoy being able to read minds. Okay. He doesn't care about us, not a single one of his children. He crosses his arms and looks away bitterly. All of his projects were always about him. He didn't care if anyone got hurt in the process. That's unfortunate. We betrayed him. Unlike the others, the Vargellan looks you directly in the eye. We meant to stun him, to capture him before he could escape to another body. But he was too quick for us. He activated the clock, tearing our minds from our bodies and trapping us eternally. I am wondering when this happened. Because, no, I have to figure that out. Okay. Why can't you get us out of here? Sure. Weren't you listening? We were trapped in that clock for centuries! I'm looking for a way out, believe me, but if Diviatiku says it's your mind, then it's your show. Yeah. The last cast-off show goes on forever and ever. So long as we live, there is hope. One of us will find a way. I don't see any way out. Vargellan stretches its neck, putting its face within a hand span of yours. It seems to be examining you. Then it says, your mind. Only you have the power to change. Yep. What he's trying to say is that this place was created for your body, or perhaps by your body. Our sire placed within each of us unique gifts and abilities. For example, I have never heard tell of another cast-off who could trap consciousnesses the way you have. Consciousnesses. She gives you a warm smile. He would not have created the space for you without also giving you a means by which to move through it. Think. What other gifts did our Creator bestow upon you? Well, there's this big sort of tentacle-y thing that tried to attack me at the beginning. Could that be a gift? Let's see. I chose an aspect of myself when I was born, deep in the heart of this labyrinth. Is that it? I'm what they call a nano. I built a path out of a deep fathom in my mind, recovering memories I had lost. Yeah, I mean, I think it's the labyrinth. Diviatiku shakes his head. I can see what you speak of. Okay, not the labyrinth, it says. And you get a momentary impression that its eyes can see through you. This aspect describes you, just as I am Vargellan. Vion is observant. Kamos is foolish. Your species should not describe you. Never mind. Maybe the Changing God thought in that way. I object to that characterization. Yeah, me too. He gives a kind chuckle. He's not wrong, and you know it. At her wounded look, he raises his eyes placatingly. It's the truth. Anyway, you've gotten us out of twice as much trouble as you get us into. How were all three of them? Well, they're cast-offs, so I guess they well, I was trying to figure out how three of them were operating at once, but I guess, if you go through bodies quickly, for whatever reason. Okay. So it's probably this one, but let's see what happens when we say that I'm a nano. Vion left. So is the Vargellan, but you don't see him barking about it. You see, that's just the type of thing that you do. It was a path you chose, not something our sire gave to you, nor a means to freedom. Do they want your type, your descriptor, or your focus? I built a path out of a deep fathom in my mind, recovering memories I had lost. Probably that one. Perhaps, if there were any memories here to recover. Vion curls his lip and looks around. Maybe I just don't know what memories look like, but I don't see anything. It would seem we are in agreement, Vion. I don't think I have the ability you're talking about. Okay. You must! She looks at her compatriots, back to you. We each have our gifts given to us by our sire for a specific purpose. His purpose, of course, but a purpose nonetheless. She presses a hand to her chest. They say, for example, that, foolish though I may be, I have 9 magical gifts of speech. That is not something I chose nor learned, but it is who he made me to be. See, I'm actually now wanting to go through the list of foci, types, and descriptors just to see if there are matches in there, because I'm starting to think, wait a minute. All right. Vion rubs his hand along the edge of his shield. I am a master of defensive arts. Our sire learned them when he was in my body, probably built my body to excel at it. I wouldn't call it a gift, but it's me, yeah. I am one with the shadows. I live in them. I breathe them. This is not some esoteria I discovered, but a unique ability our sire chose for me while he was in my body. The Changing God is a tabletop gamer, and these are his characters. Perhaps that is truly what is happening. Oh dear. Kamos gives you a kind smile. The gift is in you. Perhaps you just have forgotten. You've just forgotten. Our sire wouldn't have made this place for you without granting you the power to get out. Focus. Find the answer inside yourself. Begin chanting mantras now. Ah! You rifle through your memories past everything you actually remember to those memories you didn't create yourself. There must be a key or a door, anything that would help you to escape this fathom of your mind. Just as you're about to give up, you find something, a cluster of sparks, nascent abilities, deep within the core of your being. You sense the abilities to speak eloquently, to use a shield with a master's skill, to lurk among the shadows as though they were home. Hey, that sounds familiar.
I'm ready to learn something new.
Oh, crap. Your travels have left you more experienced, allowing you to advance. This will grant you a choice of improving your statistics, skills, or abilities. To do this, open your character sheet. None of these seem particularly suited to creating a path out of this place, but as you sift through them, you know that you are trapped here, not because it is some puzzle your sire left for you to solve, but because you are not yet whole. This is another part, the last part of deciding who you are. In completing yourself, you will be able to open a path back to the calm of your mind. Spend XP to escape, okay? Ah! There we go. All right. Based on the way... So it's going to be one of these three. It's interesting. Based on the way I was kind of imagining this character when I pieced them together. It's a good question. So we're picking one of these three foci. You know the right thing to say in every situation. No obstacle cannot be overcome with words. I do talk a lot. Breathe shadow. You hide in the folds between dimensions, evading even the most watchful eye. Emerging, you rend reality and your enemies along with it. Oh, yeah. Gives you nocturnal and surprise attack. Master's defense. Study techniques to defend yourself and others physically and mentally in any situation. Counterattack. Each turn ends immediately. Ends turn immediately. Whenever an attack misses you, make a basic attack against an enemy in range. Good. Shield Master. Gain +10 evasion. 10% evasion as long as you have an item equipped in the offhand slot. That's a good question. I've been trying to figure out if I can equip items in the offhand slot for if you are a nano, but I suspect I can. We can find out. This is a good question. Alright. Based on the way I sort of was imagining this character is a sort of more mystical nanotype, basically. I think that was what I chose. I don't know if I actually chose mystical, but it was kind of the direction I was... There's a little plus sign on his head. It was sort of the direction I was kind of moving in. So... Could be Silver Tongue, could be Shadow. I mean... That would track, possibly. Although, yeah, to be fair, a lot of what I was forming my impressions on turned out to be probably memories of the Changing God. So I thought was that this character is kind of blunt, but also, or when need to be. So yeah, I didn't want to go Silver Tongue. Someone who sort of figures things out and, you know, is good at... I mean, either Master's Defense or Breathe Shadow could work here. I am not completely certain if I can equip a shield as a nano or not. Maybe I can. I forget. And so, yeah, I may just go with Breathe Shadow. Although it's not really intending to be deceptive. It's another weird thing. Tell you what, I saved the game, so I think I'm actually going to go with Master's Defense, and then we'll find out if it is untenable. Then I will at a later time restore and redo it, and we'll deal with it then. But I do like the idea of having that available. In your skilled hands, you can make almost anything a shield. Oh, okay, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Alright. Let's go with that. That's it! You did it! Does this mean we can go back to the real world? I don't think so, Vion, but it does mean we are free, finally. He turns to you. Thank you, friend. Go. We will follow. Something's not right. Shadows, angles. It's safer for him to go first. Yeah.
All right.
I'm curious what awaits us next, are you? So you remind you should walk the path. Go ahead, I'd rather make sure it works first. Yeah, at least they're being honest. Okay. Hey, what up? Oh, there it is. That was our friend the Sorrow. I'm pretty sure. And apparently it has legs and arms now. Up. Nope. Oh, we're back with our spectral buddy here. It's the Major Domo. Spectre, I saw what happened. Are you alright? The thing almost killed you. What did happen? Blast you out of that part of your mind. His voice is somber. The sorrow must be gathering its strength, taking spaces in your mind to keep you from reaching your full potential. I don't know why it doesn't just destroy you. Maybe the fragments aren't strong enough. Yet. It's alright, though. We have more important things to do, right? Like, get that chamber fixed. Very insistent. Something feels odd about this man, but it takes a while to put your finger on it. It's his thoughts. They aren't there, or rather, they're there, but they're indistinct. A kind of white noise that blends in too well with the background hush of this place. I want to ask so many of these questions. Are you always here? Where else would I be? Found the resonance chamber. It's broken. Yeah, I saw that. I don't see everything you do out there in the world, but I definitely saw that. You have a way... You have to find a way to fix it. I have a theory. It is a terrible one, but it is a possibility. I'm beginning to wonder if perhaps the Spectre is actually the changing god. Maybe. Trying to get out. I am a terribly suspicious person. We'll see. Yeah, how did that happen? Who knows? Probably triggered something in your mind, made a bridge you didn't have before. Maybe you did have the bridge once, but you lost it. Had other fathoms open like that? Maybe you've already made a lot of changes to this place. At this point, nothing would surprise me. Your thoughts are fuzzy. Why can't I read them? His voice is dry, but his smile takes some of the sting from his words. I imagine it's because we're in a place of pure thought. I'm a construct of pure thought, and that our conversation is taking place on the level of thoughts. Most things here aren't real. It'd be like reading your own mind. What should I do now? With the chamber broken, I'm not sure. We need to find someone who can fix it. The chamber's our only hope. Without it... Yes? How do I get back this time? The portal's still there. I don't see why it wouldn't work twice. This is my mind? Why don't I remember this place? I told you as much as I know. It's your mind, and that means you're in control. You just need to figure out how to unlock its secrets. I don't know how, but I think the resonance chamber will do that for us. It'll unite us, make us whole again. Anything to do while I'm here? Is there a tourist map of my inner mind? You mean apart from the cabaret acts, distilleries, and endless adventure just behind the next wrinkle in your mind? He jabs you in the arm with his elbow. Ha! And if you believe that, sorry, but it's your mind. There's nothing like that here. I've looked. It's mean. Still, you've changed things plenty already. I wouldn't be surprised if something showed up here eventually. Alright. Anything changed since last I was here? Look around, it's your mind. Great, yes, thank you. I get the message, it's my mind. Thank you very much. Ask that again. You need to find someone who can fix the chamber. Okay, yes. Alright, that's about it. Good luck. Now, it says advancement available also, so that's an interesting question. Alright. Is there any cool stuff down here? Oh no, that's just the portal where we came from. Which, I mean, you know, we could call that cool stuff if we desperately wanted to. Alright. Portal is collapsed into this tiny pulsing sphere. Something about it strikes you as angry, though you'd be hard-pressed to say why. As you left a couple people on the other side. Advancement. Spend your experience points by clicking the plus button next to your experience meter on the left side of the screen. You can choose between 4 advancement steps. When you gain all 4 steps, you will increase your tier, unlocking a new selection of abilities and other bonuses. And so let's go here for that. Alright. What are we trying to do? That's an excellent question. We got Shieldmaster, apparently, for what help it will give us. Alright. I know there were other skills I wanted. Okay. Select one of the following options to spend your experience points. You can select each option once per tier. Yeah. That tracks with the RPG. That's one thing I actually do like about this game, is that there are a lot of parts that do feel very much like the tabletop RPG. Extra effort, increase range, increase edge. I can't read. Increase edge, increase stat pools. I mean, wouldn't say no to an increase in stat pools. Kind of need to recharge what I have. I've been using it a lot. Effort would be good. Edge would be great. You can choose between either improving or picking a new skill or improving one of your abilities. You can only do this once per tier. Yes. Let me look at the abilities first. Okay, increases accuracy by 15%. Okay, not going to do that specifically, but I just want to see what I have and what I want, and kind of go from there. So, no, I wasn't necessarily going to get that, but there it is. Cipher use was a possibility. Anamnesis, did I want to boost that up? Plus 15% per level. Okay, right. Mystical lore is what we have right now. I'm trying to remember what I I think it was machine lore, to be perfectly honest. It's either that or cipher use. So many things. Concentration, deception, healing, intimidation, perception, quick fingers. Smashing! Smashing. Yeah, I tend to want to go for these various lores. Or I could boost my mystical lore and just... stranger transdimensional creatures versus academic knowledge of machines, mechanics, and the physical sciences. I mean, it would be nice to have access to that. So... it's really a question, yeah. I don't know. But I think it would make sense to take machinery lore at this point. Let us do that. That is our advancement. Yay. I hope I get another one relatively soon, because this seems to take a while. Okay. But the more reading you do, the more chance you get to advance. Okay. Done.
All right.
All right. Let's head down here. Let's just go ahead and toss me back in the upper left here, and there we go. Okay. And down back along the place where we fought the thing and the other thing. The sorrow shattered the mirror leading back to the dark fathom. Glass shards hiss when you touch them. Okay.
On it.
Yep. Alright, here we go. Ah! Their dominant tides can influence how others respond to you in subtle ways. That's interesting to hear. I am back.
All right.
Machine is solid now. Its 3 clock faces are fixed on a single point each. The clock's purpose is still a mystery, but at least you can interact with it. You notice the figures of Camos, Deviaticu, and Vion are no longer present in the central clock face. They only exist in your labyrinth now. I will examine one more time. Machine hums and ticks steadily in a steady droning rhythm. It is definitely a clock of some kind. Though it is not measuring time in any way that you understand, the figures that were beneath the central clock face are gone. Ah, you returned to us. Have you completed your task? And you have completed your task. What did you see inside the clock? Stuff. Tell us. She's nearly breathless with excitement. I don't have to tell you. I mean, it's an interesting question. It's like, how much knowledge do we wish to give them? They seem to have been on the up and up so far. They've been, as far as this goes. I mean, and those are names that they might have more information about. So I feel like sharing info is going to be helpful here, even though it is probably a terrible mistake and I am too trusting. And my blue tide went up to suggest that I am too trusting. Disappointment creases Casmine's face. I know these names. They're not new to us. They were favored servants of your creator, cast-offs who served him well. Indeed, Deviaticu brought the Order of Truth to Sega's Cliffs, but they betrayed their holy trust and disappeared. Ah, that's not how they said it. They told the story. Mimian sighs. Nevertheless, we will honor our arrangement. You sought answers about who might repair the resonance chamber. We know that your sire built it with the aid of another cast-off. Still unknown to us. Perhaps one of your siblings might know where to find him or her. I know of only one other cast-off still in the city, the albino assassin Matkina. They call her the White Death. She wore a camouflaging cloak and brought destruction in her wake. The last I heard of her, she was in the underbelly. He restrains a shudder. Seek her, but be wary. Yep.
Making a note.
Let's consult with my colleague. Okay. More XP. We got more XP. How close are we to, next one, it's going to be 180, so... too much terribly more. 62 more points. Okay. Well, there we go. Now I get to continue wandering around and figuring out stuff. I shall save again because I can't stop myself. And it's my hard drive, and I'll save as often as I want. Alright. I am going to need to... I'm going to need to look at the journal. So that I can remember what it is we are doing. Alright. They don't know the name of the artificer. The other cast-offs might. Only one of my siblings. President of the Albinos. That's the name of Matkina. That's like the main quest. So we're searching for Matkina. Down in the underbelly, so that'll be a thing. Beloved slave. Probably... Where did they say? Cliff's Edge. Okay. Borrowed and lost. As there's a very rare book that was never returned by when, you know, had that body the last time. By the previous owner of the body. You know, the Changing God. I'm very concerned about the Changing God if he doesn't return his library books. It's not good. Need to find the book that I supposedly borrowed. Linda didn't provide any clues about its whereabouts, but did mention the book has a 5-colored sigil on its cover. Stay of execution. So either we rile up the crowd, or, which, you know, if I'd taken the silver-tongued thing, maybe I could do it. But, no, we're going another way with this. The Sorrow's Prey. Okay. So this, the body of the victim is in the, probably in a chapel in the underbelly. Okay. So I gotta go to the underbelly for these two things. So we have Cliff's Edge, and we need a city official's badge. From probably not too far from here. Find a book, and, yeah, find Cliff's Edge. Okay. Alright. So I'm just getting everything straight in my head for what's next. So I'm going to look at the map again, actually. Assuming, wait, can I just press the M key? I can. That goes to the underbelly, okay. Still need to just check around here. I have a feeling there's not much more map left, but I will look around here real quick. I think if I head up here, I'll probably get some of those other parts that we were talking about. I want to head over here to the arms merchant and see if I can carry a shield. Execution ground. Krata. Okay. Good. Child. Say ghost town person. Embedded in the cliff wall is a massive structure that clearly predates the buildings that surround it. Okay. I'm gonna head over here. Just want to see what the thing is. Okay, that's the way down to the underbelly. Not heading there yet.
You've got it.
But, you know, just want to fill in some more out here. Okay.
On my way.
Alright. And I see there's a bridge out here. There is a mutant. There is an autochthon. Good word. There are 3 of them. Why do they have so many buildings here? I don't know. Do not stare at people, Gorga. It is not polite. It is boring, this circus. Should go to another bar. Yep. I know the feeling. Let's talk to the mutant. The sun is nourishing today, is it not? I don't know. I do not use chlorophyll. Which I am guessing is something perhaps you do. Yes. Drink in the sun's energy. Okay. Cool. Mercenary. Sagus Downs person. I kind of want to check the bridge out, but at the same time, before I leave this district, I want to make sure I have mapped everything out. Yeah. I wonder where that goes. We'll find out. First, wait.
Let's go.
Child. No, too late. I'm not running after that kid. Alright. I won't talk to everybody necessarily. Your people are tall. Like the Sona and Bayan in... What? In my city. Where are you from? I don't know, but you're blue, so that may indicate... Is everyone blue there? I am never going to catch that kid. Okay. Enough of this Falderall. Let's do a completely different Falderall. Sing of roaming shadows, of eye and bloody claw, of tooth and burning meadow, of hunger red and raw. Cool. She still lies beneath those stones, her spirit trapped inside her bones. Are you just saying random things? Sing of sorrows, yeah, faith failed right in the righteous wrongs. Did we talk to the... Levy, good day to you, visitor. Okay. Talk to the crier. Mystica continue their digging. Cliff's Edge lives in fear that more homes will collapse. That's not good. Freaking future moles. Okay. I want to talk to the arms merchant. Show me your stuff. Okay. So let's see, what do we got? We got 105 shins. And I mean, I could sell some of these things if I desperately want to. But I don't want to. I'm gonna need to use all of the healing things. Shield, offhand. Just checking for anything else that might be wielded as an offhand thing, just because of the way that they talked about it. Actually, a morbid curiosity. See, now they've got me thinking.
Onward.
No. Wait. Nope. Okay, cannot wield that offhanded. Okay. Okay. I would like to purchase a buckler. How do I do that? Do I just pick the thing up? Yeah, okay. This may be a terrible mistake, I do not know. Okay, now let us attempt to equip the shield. It is done! Cool. I think that'll help. We shall see. Alright. Where am I? There I am. How far down am I here? Half down on intellect. I could use an encephalic rush right now. I'm 2 down on speed. I am full of I am full on might. probably go ahead and use the... that heals 3 points of speed. I'm not far down enough yet there, but I could go ahead and use this. I am choosing myself because I am greedy. And also because I am the one who uses everything. Yay! Now I'm only like 2 down. Alright. Because, I have a feeling we're going to be using more intellect as the time goes on here. Now, where shall we go? A place. So, we could look across the bridge or we could go up here. Let's go up the steps. Because I do want to figure out where everything is. I mean, there is the chance that this bridge only... Well, won't actually go anywhere that we can go in this game, but we'll see. But this is closer. Let us go here. If we can do anything with that this time, actually.
Yes.
I wasn't able to do anything with that before. I wonder just if anything's different since I messed with the clock. Nope. Okay. I would very much like to figure out how to... Was this glowing before? I don't know. Let's go.
On it.
Yay, tiny details. In fact, let us real quick switch back to there. So
Yes.
that
Now.
since we are climbing up here. Wait, what is it? Gave me a thing to examine, possibly. Leave area, okay. So that goes... So that also leaves the... Philithus. Did I talk to Philithus? That goes to Government Square, which is probably important. However, I don't think I talked to Philithus. Maybe I did, I can't remember. A creature floats before you, hidden inside the bulk of its armor cloth robes, unmoving and unmoved by your presence. Exactly who or what the thing is, man or machine, mutant or monster, is impossible to discern. Its glass face reveals nothing but your reflection. Its mechanical voice reveals nothing at all. You recall that this creature is known as a Philithus, but you don't know anything else about them. I think I might have run into one of these in a game, but I cannot remember anything about it. Or I might have watched someone run into it in a game. I don't know. Exquisite, the Philithus grates, in greeting perhaps, or perhaps lost in its own inscrutable thoughts. Mystical lore. The Philithus are said to have vast knowledge of the mysteries of the Ninth World and the Numenera of ages past, but prying those secrets loose can be a fool's errand. Why, thank you, Tiber replies. The Philithus does not acknowledge his quip or even his existence in any way. Creature's thoughts are as obscure as its glass face, as though it weren't even there. Thank you for the compliment. You are exquisite as well. Exquisite? There are a few different ways this could go. I'm gonna say you are also exquisite. A sound like... It's been mostly blue and gold lately. Blue and gold tides. A sound like the grinding of drit-filled gears is the thing's only response. For a moment, that stretches uncomfortably. You feel the cold scrutiny of the Philithus upon you. At last, it speaks again. You ask, but the world rebukes. Yeah, that's pretty much the story of my life. The Philithus's implacable glass gaze bores through your skin and sees more than others do, and it seems to be seeking something from you. So I could ask it about the resonance chamber. I could ask it to tell me about itself, which is something I really want to do, so let's try that. You are the persuasive one. How much effort do I want to spend? I'm only going to spend 1 effort on this. And fail. For a moment, the Philithus' face darkens. Then, without inflection, it answers, "The cursed key hungers and it feeds, but it is denied satiation." Okay. Please tell me about yourself in a way I can understand. No. Tidal Surge requires trained tidal affinity skill. Force it to tell you about itself. No, let's not do that. Do you know anything about the Sorrow, about the resonance chamber built by the Changing God? Sure, let's just tell it everything. Silence lingers on until at last the Philithus speaks. "I know it shall be 3. I know the first cannot be trusted. I know one changes as you change. I know they seek an undoing." Its glass face storms, but the Philithus says no more. It shall be 3. The first can't be trusted. One changes as you change, and they seek an undoing. Man. What do you want from me? Philithus ponders silently until it asks, "When you faced Koro, why did you not step first with your left foot?" I cannot remember who Koro is. I had no reason. Balance, probably. I assumed it placed me in a better position. When you faced Koro, why did you not step first with your left foot? I think that if the Koro's the one that that we met on the way here, I think who accosted us on the way here, and we got past by lying to them. Yeah, that's the question. Is that I'm gonna say balance. The Philithus accepts your answer in silence, then after a long pause replies, "In his vault the Cloven One reads from his great book to his disciples. He sleeps and awakens and has forgotten his place in the grimoire. He begins anew." The Cloven One. Okay. "The book is a part of him. He has no legs and takes no steps. It is his own self from which he reads. It is his own self that is incomplete. It is his own self that binds him in the vault of his own mind." Okay. Is he talking about me, or is he talking about a different Cloven One? As I can see, well, the Changing God could be considered split across many people over time. Well, it's usually just one at a time. Yeah. I mean, this could apply. This could apply. Aligern steps toward the Philithus. You speak of Dynanokt, the one who sits in the waters between the worlds. Have you seen him? Okay, apparently not. The Philithus whirs and rumbles, then lowers its head, perhaps in negation, perhaps in acknowledgement. Aligern growls in frustration. "What more do you want from me? You've been following me?" Dynanokt. I'm going to write that down, because I feel as though that might come up later. In memory, cause follows effect. In rain, the colors run. A long rumble suggests that the Philithus has more to say, but nothing emerges. What more do you want from me? When the Philithus at last answers, its mechanical voice seems to creak. You did not accept your fall. When you are served the bitter root, will you eat? It'd be nice if I knew what the bitter root was. I don't know. I guess I'll have to say I don't know. The Philithus is silent, showing neither satisfaction nor dismay at your response. Do you have any more questions for me? Its words so rushed they almost jumble together, the Philithus asks, when you stood in the place of shifting floors, which way did your shadow fall? See, I'm going back, right? I'm trying to remember. And at the beginning, right? I think... Well, the light was coming down from the ceiling, right? And it was either behind or beside. You say beside me. A long rumble echoes from inside the Philithus' robes, changing at last words. In the village of Thorn, it is written, the eremite Allegaiser descended deep into the darkness, for he could not bear to see his shadow. Okay. Do you have still more questions? No. Why are you so interested in my choices? In its slow rumble, the Philithus replies, they are not yours. They are being chosen by the person playing you on his PC. What do your questions mean? What do you want? Yes. The single flat word lingers in the air until the Philithus adds, what is the answer? Perhaps the thing wants you to answer your own question. You want to know if I'm drawing the sorrow to this place. You want to understand why I have done what I have done. You want to confound me. You want to know everything. You don't know what you want. I don't know. I mean, so, looking back at its questions, right? Which way did your shadow fall? You did not accept your fall. Why did you not step first with your left foot? I think it's... Well, either they don't know what they want, or... I mean, drawing the sorrow, that's a good question. But, I mean, that could be just more guilt than anything else. I don't understand why I've done what I've done. I don't know that that's it. I think they don't know. The Philithus accepts your answer silently, giving no clue what passes within its impervious robes, behind its impenetrable mask. At last, when it seems no response will come, a single word, no longer quite so flat, escapes. Yes. Then all is silent once more. Ah! Blue tide. I forget what blue tide means. We'll find out in a moment. Farewell. As you step away, the Philithus swivels to keep its glass face trained upon you. Exquisite. See, I feel like I need to look at the tide again. It's blue tide has been predominant lately. Wisdom, reason, and enlightenment. Okay. Cool. All right. Now, before I take an exit from this place, I'm probably going to go to the probably going to go out at the government square, but I want to see kind of where the bridge goes. It'll probably go off to another screen, at which point I'll just come back. But let's go ahead and actually do it, because that is how we map a place. And when I say we, I mean me. Did you see this falling star? Nope. Well, I was too close to see it. Let's see. Star fell into the reef. I say it was a moon at most. Okay, fair. But also still probably too big. Hey, what up? I hear there's good salvage in the waters down there. Some folk fish for it in the underbelly. Oh, cool. That's good to know. Might be able to find some ciphers. Now, this goes to Cliff's Edge. Okay. Excellent. Now we know where the things go. I kind of want to do Government Square first, then Cliff's Edge, then Underbelly. I think that's how I want to do this. So, let us save once more. I'm going to save over this, because I can. And return to the game. Alright. Because I have the normal view clock. Yay! Slowly piecing it together. It's very interesting. This whole thing's very interesting, and I love the detail. I really do. Nah! If an enemy is armored, change up the damage type of your attacks with abilities or ciphers to overcome it. Righto?
My friend, Orthfong at the Order of Truth, was looking into something for me. I'd like to stop by there. Problem is, most of the priests and I don't get along too well.
Yeah?
They might not want to talk to me.
How come? Like I said, we don't get along. Probably because I called them out on their timidity and their bowing and scraping to the slave families. But hells, maybe they've forgotten. Frauds, all of them. They care more about advancement than actually helping anyone. Alright, I'll ask them. Since the thing with the clock, I have to wonder if anything has changed. Yes. What do you think about what the Changing God said? Whoa! There's a thing there. I'm very interested to know what that is. Honestly, I thought they'd be more helpful. Instead, they're just guessing. They don't know any more about you than I do. He snorts. You've got my apologies for that, for what it's worth. Hells, they spent their time thinking about you a lot. They should have a better idea than almost anyone. At least they gave us an idea of where to search next. He shrugs. We'll keep looking. How are you holding up? As well as can be expected. Great. Alright, let's continue.
Yes, lad.
Talk to you more, ask you more about helping Riss. No, I mean, this is... Yeah, we know what's gonna happen with that. Probably. Okay. People. Mercenaries. A glaive. And another mercenary. Okay. There was like a... Hey, what up? A pleasant day to you, visitor. I'm surprised people live here. It isn't exactly safe. No. Can't shake the feeling I've been to this city before. Really? Alright, now who's this? It's a dignitary. Hello. Is it always this warm? I'm sure there are times when it is not. There's an ambassador over there, and they're like very... Ayin, who knows? That's interesting. I kind of want to get over there. There's someone who knows over there. We gotta find out. You gotta talk to the person who knows. Alright. This woman seems to be absorbed by what she's doing. Her blue eyes narrowed in concentration. You realize she's the nicest looking person you've seen in a while and feel almost compelled to approach her. Way to go. Okay. She shakes out the golden cloth she's examining and holds it up to the light. Such beautiful colors. She meets your gaze. It would look lovely on you. Sure you're not? She's not just selling cloth? Can you tell me about this place? Of course, this is Government Square, home to the City Council and the Order of Truth. The rest is embassies and city records, but you might enjoy a stop at the Red Thicket. You might enjoy a stop at the Red Thicket. She points to a red stone enclosure nearby. Yeah, it's good to have marketing buddies. Who are you? My name is Alkin. Ninth world names. My name is Alkin Perry. You can call me Alkin if you like. She offers a tentative smile. Ah, I'm a chirurgeon, but I work mostly with children. Isn't a chirurgeon someone who, like, attaches body parts? I don't remember. You know, healing scraped knees and the occasional broken bone. Okay, maybe not that much. We're lucky here in Sagus that it's rarely anything more serious. So many children need my help. Too many. Ah. Okay, she might know where the runaway... Well, I mean, they said it was an edge, so it's in a different area, but, you know, she might know where the runaway is. What are you doing? Waiting for an appointment, she says with a tentative smile. Okay. Right. Good to know. Hello, Sangolin. A tall, thin, and exquisitely dressed older man stands in the shade of an exquisitely crafted stall. The cut, color, and quality of his clothes are a symphony of harmonious coordination, while the expression of benevolent condescension he gives you would be more at home on the face of a king. Good afternoon, he says, bowing slightly. I am Sangolin, and this is my store. Sangolin's Fittings. Welcome. How may I be of service? What do you sell here? Fittings. I sell the finest city wear for discerning men and women, as well as quality armor for those traveling to less civilized locales. He clears his throat and directs your attention to a well-dressed mannequin wearing the badge of a city official. That's right. Also, it is our honor to have been chosen to provide the city of Sagus Cliffs with the official badges, worn by all property-credentialed city employees. You may trust in their trust in us. Can I buy an official city badge? City badges are not for sale to anyone. They are given to duly elected or appointed public servants of Sagus Cliffs, and it is illegal for me to give them to anyone who does not work for the city. I would be breaking the law. He considers. Now, of course, most public servants do offer me some remuneration for the materials, but no, I would not take the risk, nor betray my trust. Too risky, too risky. About 80 shins worth of risk, I'd wager. Ah, okay, good. You have a price. That's good to know. Ah, but you won't be breaking the law. My friend here has just been made Undersecretary to Overseer Yin. A messenger should be coming shortly with a letter of commission, but you know how Yin is, always a bit sloppy with his paperwork. And should I be deceptive? That's alright, Tiber. You'll hear soon enough, Sangolin. Yin's delay won't be a problem, will it? Thank you, Tiber, but that's asking too much of this gentleman. Perhaps we could mitigate the risk to him. Thank you, Tiber, but there's no need to press the issue. Let's talk about something else. I mean, I've only got 90 shins. I don't want to... But at the same time, I kind of... Yeah, you know, I don't want to lie to him. Strangely enough. Although we already have, I'm kind of letting him believe it, so, I mean, I could try deception. Except, it's not something I'm necessarily great at. I mean, I've got the intellect points to risk. But I don't think I want to do that right now. I only just healed them back. Sangolin purses his lips. I'm afraid I am unbribable, my friend. But if you were to purchase this fine pair of red boots for, say, 80 shins, it is possible I might leave something of value in the left boot by accident. I won't pay that. It appears we'll not be able to do business. Are you certain? Let me ask about something else. I want to see if there are opportunities to make more money before I give him 80 shins. Tell me about Government Square. Puts a finger to his chin. Let me think. There's Council Tower just over there, and the Order of Truth, and you can't forget the Red Thicket. That walled courtyard on the edge of the square. Or were you curious about our fountain here? I don't know. Everything. Council Tower. It is ancient beyond reckoning. The tower's roots go all the way down to the forges in the underbelly. And really? And within it sits the Council of Sagus Cliffs, the finest, fairest legislative body in the Ninth World. And I don't say that just because they are my most valued patrons. They have run this city well for centuries, and thanks to me, they look magnificent while doing it. About the Order of Truth. They are a credit to our city, wise scholars and deep thinkers, he smiles. Excellent customers as well. They are very particular about their robes. What is the Red Thicket? The Whispering Wood, I call it. A very curious and ancient place. You can speak as loudly as you like in there, and none but your partner can hear you. A great place for diplomacy. Diplomacy. Tell me about the fountain. One of the stranger and more poignant attractions in the square. The creatures in it are called... Jallies? Jallies. And they chatter in 1,000 dead tongues, the priests say. That a new Jalli is born each time an old language dies. He shakes his head. You could listen to them for a month and never hear the same language twice, or understand a single one. Okay. Interesting. There's something else. Let's see. Do we have anything else? People. I'm not one to gossip, sir, but if you insist. Who do you wish to know about? We've seen a white-skinned, hard-faced woman in the neighborhood. Very tough and dangerous looking. That's someone I'm looking for. That I think is the other cast-off. How well do you know Alconberry? Oh, I can... maybe after I've asked about other people, I can come back and ask. I've been introduced. Frowns for a moment, thinking, then nods. Yes, in fact, I believe I sold her a cloak once. The way she wore it, it seemed as if she wished to hide her face, which, with a face like that, I could readily understand. He looks in the direction of the council building. I got the impression she might do secret work for the families, but I wasn't about to ask. How well do you know... Yeah, Alconberry. She stops here often, though she doesn't always buy something. I know little else about her, except she is a chirurgeon who administers to children. He raises his eyebrows. I don't think that's all she does. Sometimes I see her speaking to strangers from elsewhere in the city, married couples usually. But it all seems very hush-hush, if you know what I mean. Marriage counselor. Okay, farewell. We will come back. No, actually, I wanted to ask about what stuff Sangolin sells. Because I am curious. I mean, not like I'm going to be able to buy any of this right now, but... Leather jerkin. Am I allowed to use light armor? I forget. Micromesh. Grounding cloak. That looks cool. And more shields. Same price. Okay. And if I'm desperate, start selling ciphers. Let's see. Yeah, that's enough for right now. However, just out of curiosity. Oh, can't. I shouldn't try selling their stuff. Alright. That's a good question. Wealthy townsperson. That damnable woman! What?
All right.
No, it's not alright. What about that damnable woman? I'm trying to discuss a certain matter with Iena who knows, the trader of secrets. Yes? She already knows every secret I've told her. It's impossible. Maybe I should offer her... No, if she told anyone else, I'd be ruined. This gets better and better. Perhaps if I... No, she'd only laugh at me. When can I trade her? What? Okay, I'm getting obsessed with this. Hey, townsperson. Hello. What do you do up here? Are you a clerk, a messenger, a spy? Ooh, no, don't tell me. Okay, I won't. Who are these people? What do they want? They are petitioners. They want something from a council clerk. Interact. What's the townsperson? What's the townsperson? Child. Okay. I'm waiting on my turn since yesterday. I'm not exaggerating. Okay. I figure stuff out here. Fine day. Fine day, yes. Fine day. Council Tower. A lot of stuff here. I'm going to save again because I'm not sure where we are, aside from Government Square. Alright. Let's keep going here.
Yes.
Yes. Let's talk to the kids, find out what they know. I ain't seen a lady with a silver belt, have you? Only a plotter paid us to watch for her. I'm gonna spend my share on a knife, a real sharp one. Gulsey is selling a dagger with a claw on the end. It's wicked. Sure ain't seen a lady with a silver belt? This place is boring. Enterprising children. Some plotter and nerd gave us 10 shins to watch some lady with a silver belt. Okay. These lordships should mind their money. It keeps falling into my pockets on accident. Yes, they should. Got so much clink in my pockets, it's a wonder my trousers aren't falling down. Maybe we shouldn't talk to these children too much, or we'll find that we're out of shins. Heading to the meatmonger when I get back and treat myself to one of everything. Clear off, Gallia, drawing eyes. Okay, okay. Trash is piled against this building as if someone has been sweeping the square each day and leaving all the detritus here. Or detritus, depending on which side of the room you're standing. Hey guys, what's up? I can't see that because I'm not high up enough. Okay.
All right.
Talk to the clerk. Get in line there with everyone else. Behind a lectern, a four-eyed, hairless mutant processes paper with balleic grace. He's endlessly snapping the elegant fingers of his left hand, and each time the air twists and shimmers, either disgorging a document to be processed or accepting one that he's completed with his ink-stained right hand. Each of his eyes regards a distinct object, portals that are opening, preambles and recitals that must be reviewed, his own addenda that must be flawless. One eye twitches in your direction. I think this is the guy we're supposed to get that form from. The exaggerated scorn twists his mouth, and though his eye remains fixed on your face, he gives no verbal acknowledgement. The closest he comes is a faint sigh. At last, after shunting a half-dozen more documents to some distant cubby, he condescends to speak. You must wait, of course, until council matters conclude. His quarter gaze leaves you, his face returns to its former equanimity, and he continues his work, which shows no evidence of slacking, let alone concluding. Nah. How long do you expect council business to take? The Clerk rolls his idle eye skyward, then answers in a voice that feigns having been worn down by endless pestering petitioners, as though as far as you can see, you're the only one bold enough to bother him. Consider in so vast a city what ordinances must be registered, contracts memorialized, indictments docketed, discoveries catalogued, edicts promulgated, memoranda routed, applications processed, permits issued, titles recorded. For from such consideration you may draw your own conclusions. Do you know yet when you'll be done? The clerk sighs with exasperation and does not even give you a glance. I will spare you a further recitation of the scope of my work with the understanding that you will spare me importunate questioning about when it will cease. I'd just like to talk to you for a short moment. I'm selling these fine leather jackets. No, wait, wrong game. The clerk continues filling and filing papers for a rather long moment, just when it seems he will not respond at all. He answers, I have no time for idle chit-chat, least of all while there is pressing council business to attend to. Is there anything I can do to hurry things along? The clerk continues his masterful shuffling of papers from one portal to another, flicking a closed scroll through a gateway with a particularly deft gesture. Then he turns not one but two eyes your way. If you are inquiring whether I would let your sweating butcher's fingers touch the council's paperwork, I fear for the state of your mind. His eyes look away, and he adds, of course it is customary to render a small gratuity in thanks to civil service. One eye quickly glances back. Hello. Hey. Aye. Yeah. People. I'm trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing right now. Just chatting with a civil servant. What exactly is the customary gratuity? Without so much as a shrug of his shoulders or an inflection that would acknowledge impropriety, let alone shame, the clerk announces 60 shins. 60 shins is far too much. The clerk glares at you with one eye. We are not merchants haggling over the price of an anine, sir, he scoffs. Custom does not bend circumstance, nor do civilized people chisel at gifts. So, there are a few things one could do here. And I mean, intimidation is a definite possibility here, but I mean, I've got some of this available. Persuasion is a thing that we could do. Persuasion might be easier, friendlier. I'm going to wait until you're done. 10 days later. Without disrupting the grace of his filing, the clerk shrugs his shoulders. I am pleased that you recognize your place in the hierarchy of needs. Thank you, Maslow. You'll be waiting quite a long time, he's thinking. Okay. Do you really think I'm going to pay a bribe? All four of the clerk's eyes momentarily open wide with dismay. Of course not, he cries aghast. Receiving a bribe is a criminal act as set forth in sections 201 and 1951 of the Criminal Code. By contrast, accepting certain customary payments is an understood and lawful emolument associated with this position. Ah, that's the difference. His tone is utterly sincere, fanatical even, as he pronounces this distinction. This city will crumble into the sea before I accept a bribe. Silver Tide raised a tiny amount. Indigo Tide raised a tiny amount. First time for that. I could continue to annoy him. You know when you'll be done? The clerk sighs with exasperation. I will spare you for blah, 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 blah. Same thing. Okay. I could wait for him to finish. I'm probably going to try persuading him here in a minute. I just want to see what happens if I say I'm going to wait for him to finish. You stand and watch as paper after paper emerges and disappears into the shimmering portals opened by the clerk's power. If he is aware of your lingering presence, he gives no sign of it, except perhaps by the fact that his idle eye during its occasional wandering seems to scrupulously avoid the spot in which you're standing. You soon learn there are few things more tedious than watching the endless, inscrutable turning of bureaucracy's gears. Okay. Keep waiting. I'm going to try persuasion. Except he shall be the one to try persuasion. Shall we just do it? Yes, let's use up his resources. This is for him, after all. Success. The clerk conveys his personal regard for the importance of your matters with a long, loud sigh, but he focuses one of his eyes on you and replies, Very well, very well. Tell us. Let us weigh the worth of your needs, shall we? What is it you want? I would like to talk about some paperwork. Let's go for that first. A faint sigh is the only acknowledgement you receive. Do you have any records about someone named Matkina? I've seen the name, he mutters, in far too many requisitions for discretionary funds. With confident but deliberate speed, he reviews a series of documents which seem to confirm his initial impression. She does not appear as a citizen or in any census. Indeed, she is mentioned nowhere but on ledgers and requisitions. Fully 3 of his eyes give you a significant look. Needless to say, these are transactions whose nature is not specified. Okay. Trying to remember which one Matkina is. I don't know if that's actually what we were... Aren't we supposed to get something from this dude? Okay. There's like for this brilliant plan to free the person who's being tortured right now. What are you doing with all these papers? The clerk shakes his head at your ignorance. I am taking them from where they were to where they must be by bending the space between. And as they pass across my lectern, I assure that they are properly prepared. To the body politic, I serve as heart, kidney, and nervous system all in one. He snaps his fingers, opening a portal and flicking a scroll through it. Before I undertook this role, the council employed layers and layers of logothetes, scriveners, registrars, and couriers, each corruptible, vulnerable, insular. The Memovira's tendrils grew through the cracks in that teetering edifice. Okay. Logothetes? Is that sounds right? Memovira? Memovira? He stares at you with 2 bright eyes. But now there is only myself! Had I not come to this office, I wonder who would rule the city. Not that the Memovira has not tried, but even she cannot corrupt the incorruptible. Who's that? The clerk scowls without looking up. Some builders raise monuments of marble, others tear the monuments down, cook the marble to lime, mix the lime into concrete, and use the concrete to make hardened bunkers. He shakes his head. Organizations can be made the same way, and people. The Memovira has demolished many things, and from the rubble has built an impenetrable organization of hardened souls. It would be wise to keep your distance. An eye glances your way, but you don't look wise. Where can I find the Memovira? Yeah. The clerk chuckles quietly while filling out a form. The Bloom. I've heard that name before. A moment later he adds, Sometimes it seems one can indeed judge a book by its cover. More questions about paperwork. Tell me again. General questions. Of course you do. A faint sigh is the only acknowledgement you'll receive. Who are you? What exactly are you doing with all those papers? Alright. I'm actually going to start with this one. You may have uncovered some fascinating stories. Must have uncovered some fascinating stories. Naturally, the clerk replies, but for a moment notions of privacy and probity keep him quiet. Then one of his eyes flicks your direction, and you can see he's avid to indulge the twin pleasures of the voyeur and the gossip. Ha ha! We have found a handle here. And there's this from an ambassador sent to the Steadfast. He snaps his fingers, summons the dispatch, clears his throat, and reads, Today, with great ceremony, the Aeon priests buried a man said to have lived for 277 years. I asked how this greybeard had lasted so long, and was told as follows. 300 years ago, there was a painting of a spectacular beauty hung in the Durkal, a relic from before the Ninth World. For reasons unknown, the work was incomplete. The Amber Pope believed that if finished, it would reveal a truth about human nature that had eluded all intellectual inquiry. He proclaimed that whatever painter could complete it would receive a cipher that would enable him to live for 250 more years. He says, moving out of the window. There we go. Great artists flocked to the Durkal to examine the masterpiece, but when they saw it, none dared lift a brush. At last, a young whitewasher approached, carrying brushes and rollers and buckets of paint. "I can finish this," he declared. Really? Is this what I think it is? Let's keep... I have a feeling this is going to be Mark Twain, a quote from Mark Twain, but we'll see. The Amber Pope nodded, and the boy flung an entire bucket of paint across the canvas. The blank region was filled, but the painting was splattered with white, its majesty gone. The Pope held to his vow and bestowed longevity upon the whitewasher. He was, however, borne to the torture pits below the Durkal, where he remained until that very day, when at last his long life ceased. The clerk folds the faded dispatch, returns it to its envelope, and sends it away, saying no more. Alright. I mean, getting him talking seems to be a good idea, because then that'll maybe lead to another thing. But I mean, I thought I was supposed to get a particular document from this guy and then copy it and then put a different name on it. That was the point. What exactly is the council? Tell us about that. The clerk sniffs. Paper governs Sagus Cliffs. Paper allows the few to rule over the many. Paper allows the many to organize into a single whole. Authority resides in dictates, compacts, agenda, the means by which thoughts are refined, disseminated, and preserved. In a calmer voice, he adds, "Of course, the council has a part as well. Each of the great slave families sends a representative, and they dicker and bicker until they form the will embodied in paper, and I am their clerk." The great slave families. Yay. Okay. Well, who are you, and what exactly are you doing with all those papers? "I am neither a tourist attraction nor a docent," he sniffs, but the irritation in his voice is only a thin disguise for the obvious pleasure he takes at your interest. He elaborates. "I am the council clerk." You can probably hear the capital C's. "And unto me falls the responsibility of directing the fate of every official document in Sagus Cliffs." His tone becomes wholly boastful as he continues. "I am the mind that channels the blind, nervous impulses of this city and turns it into muscular action." Great, okay. We're glad he's enthusiastic. Council Clerk preens, adding a certain flair to his routing of the paperwork. "Nature, of course, provides every being with its proper niche, and here my power to bend space, my divisible vision, and my unerring integrity allow me to carry out a task no other in the ninth world could possibly undertake." He sighs, but with rapture, not exasperation. "A venal man, a distractible man, an ordinary man would break beneath the temptation and strain, but not I." With that, his bureaucratic scowl returns. Ah! Anamnesis! Suddenly the world changes. You're in a laboratory that reeks of spoiled milk, and a vat before you, floating in a gray, viscous fluid, is a very young child. What this has to do with the council clerk, I have no idea. His skull is in your hands, and you're kneading and stretching it like dough. Content warning. Sorry about that. Okay, content warning. This could get a bit graphic. Two nubbin ice pots stare from above his natural eyes. He's howling, and he clenches and unclenches his tiny fists. Oddments appear and disappear. A blue rag, a gourd rattle, a lock of black hair. Someone else's thought comes into your head. He will do. Nature didn't create you. I created you. It's a very young child. We're kind of molding, right? It's howling. It's shifting identities. Yeah, this is, I don't think it would be a good idea to tell the council clerk. I don't think it would be a good idea to tell the council clerk that I am a representative of the... that I am a cast-off. However, I mean, this would be a way to get what we want. End the conversation really fast. I mean, it's a one-time opportunity here. I think, maybe. It's probably going. Let's. Well, we've got most of this. Let us see what happens. Your words are enough to stop the clerk in his work, if only for a moment. All four eyes stare at you, probing, searching for a smirk on your lips or a twinkle in your eye. Finding nothing, he resumes routing the city's papers, but some of the grace is gone from his long fingers. At last he sniffs. Next, no doubt, you'll jest about betting my mother. His forced tone reveals he took it for no joke. But for all his gift in filing, he seems unable to fit what you've told him into his mind. Impossible and inconvenient. Silver tide raised, small amount. Alright, yeah, I'm wondering what effect that's gonna have. Another story. Hang on. Okay. After Chila tore down the old ruling families, there was a time when the council stripped the euphemisms from its ledgers, and one sees such and such paid for racking a nobleman till he gave up his stash of shins, and such to settle the claims of mothers bereft of their children by rampaging mobs. There was a time when the council stripped the euphemisms from its ledgers, and one sees... Oh, okay. Right, no, just telling the bullying that happened. He pauses. One can debate whether it's shamelessness, that this is shamelessness or transparency, but it has yielded an entry of terse brilliance, a sum allotted for the assassin to dispose of said whale. He smirks. He smirks. In a less literal age, said whale might have been the spendthrift scion of a mercantile clan, or a contessa of grand scale, but not here. These were funds requisitioned to assassinate a whale, no more, no less. The eye regarding you twinkles with delight. And best of all, it seems the mission failed. One wonders, how does an assassin miss a whale? I have to wonder that myself, but, yeah. I have to wonder that myself. How does an assassin miss a whale? I mean, it's the thing being that I had thought that I know octopi survived, and those are still there. Whales, I did not think were still around. In the ninth world. Okay. I think that exhausts this conversation tree. So, are we done? I guess we're done. And I appear to have swallowed a hair. There, that's taken care of. Okay. Some of these same questions. Ah, okay. Yeah, I guess that's it for now. Clerk gives no acknowledgement that he heard and merely continues with his work. So all we did was just talk to them, and that's it. I don't know. Maybe this isn't where I get the document. I gotta figure that out. Tell me this plan again. While we're standing right next to the clerk? Masquerade as a city official and ask the council clerk for an archive copy. Oh, okay, I have to come up with a badge. Gotcha. Okay, so I gotta have the badge first. That explains a great deal. Okay. Again, I don't know if I should be talking to so many people right now. This woman is dressed much like the levies who flank her, but unlike them, her expression is sober and alert. Her hair is cut short, the corners of her eyes wrinkled with crow's feet. A little swarm of mechanical drones circles around her, buzzing messages in her ears. She whispers replies in return, and every so often one of them whisks away, disappearing into the city. What is it, citizen? She pauses, darting to your tattoo, then to your face. No. You're the one they call Adan. I heard you were in the city. You sense a sudden wariness in here. It's been 10 years since your last visit. I was too young to know you then, but the drones remember. Adan? Is that what the Changing God was calling themselves? You're not that young. What do the drones remember about me? On cue, 2 of her attendant drones dip close to her ear, emitting a stream of raspy noise that might be some sort of language. You kept to your own affairs, but everywhere you went, the city held its breath. People deferred to you, even the ones with power and influence. You looked the same as you do now, exactly the same. I want to know why. And if you don't mind telling me, I want to know what you're doing in Sagus now. The stories they tell me are troubling. I'll have to keep an eye on this one. I do mind telling you. I'm looking for a woman named Makina. The White Death, her expression goes flat, but her eyes flick to your tattoo again. I should have guessed that. If Makina is all you want, then you should ask for an underbelly. That's the last place any of my drones saw her, and the levies don't venture there. She leans a little closer and lowers her voice. And if you leave the city afterward, I'd be very happy if you took her with you. Another drone swoops past you, stopping just short of the woman's head. It unleashes a series of raspy buzzes and squawks. She whispers something into it, then glances back in your direction. What was it you wanted? Who are you? Seeking captain of the levies. I'm not a levy myself, but I command them. What are levies? Oh, great! Now I can. Now I've got that entry. She gestures at the 2 burly, smiling men to her left and right. They look like identical twins, soldiers in the council's service. They keep order in the city. Her lips purse briefly, but she continues. Every citizen is required to raise a levy for the city's defense. The price is a year of their lives. Oh. They keep every district safe? No, she frowns. Underbelly lives under its own law. Cliff's Edge lives under no laws at all. If they don't keep order in Underbelly, who does? A man called Fulsome. Her expression is unreadable. I don't know anything about him. Except that the council needs him, and so he does whatever he likes. Why not to Cliff's Edge? A lot of homes have been collapsing, and the city hasn't been able to help. Her tone is cautiously neutral. The council believes that the presence of levies could incite them to violence. It's the Memavira. The council's giving her free rein outside the blue as well. Aha! How are levies raised? Anyone who lives in the city can become a citizen at 16 years of age, or the equivalent if they're not human. There's only one requirement. They step into a machine at the Order of Truth, and it takes away a year of the citizen's life. It uses that year to create a levy. Interesting. She lowers her voice, seemingly for the benefit of the levies standing beside her. That 1 year is all a levy gets. When it's over, they die. Interesting. It's like that year of that person's life. Do they become that person as a levy, or is it a robot? They seem awfully happy. A smile and a pleasant demeanor could have 100 explanations, yet this whole city is fooled by them. She shakes her head. I know the levies better than anyone, so the truth is plain to me, though I'd be lying if I claimed to truly understand them. If I only had a year to live that wasn't my own, I wouldn't be happy either. Are you sure the levies aren't happy? They only seem so. Her face is flat, unreadable. They're not. I have other questions, because I am an adventurer, and I have many questions. What were you saying to those drones? They carry my orders to levies all over the city, and they bring reports from the levies back to me. She reaches out a hand, and one of the drones buzzes something unintelligible. A few years ago, the Aeon priests found them buried underground and brought them back to life. I learned their language, so our conversations are safe from prying ears. That's not bad. What's in the building behind you? How is it that you don't recognize the seat of government? I know you lived here for a time. I must learn more about these cast-offs. Something isn't right about them. Ah! I asked a question. I didn't expect one in return. Too focused on my studies, I guess. To tell the truth, I've lost my memory. I don't know if I want to tell them that. Sounds like something an Aeon priest would say, but they're savvier than they pretend to be, some of them anyway. She waves a hand to the doors behind her. The council meets in there, a representative from every slave family and from some of the guilds, depending upon who's in favor. Hardly anyone goes in through the doors, though. They're just a formality. Most people have other ways of getting inside and out. Who are you again? No. Never seen a building like this before. What is it? They say it's a ship built by the ancients to sail the void between worlds. Now the crag grips it tight like an old husband holds his wife, and it'll never sail free again. You don't like Makina? I don't like assassins, especially good ones. I don't like the temptation they represent to people in power, to the people I'm supposed to serve. They make it too easy to solve problems discreetly. Yeah, that's fair enough. Clark asked me for a bribe. Is that legal? She purses her lips and stares straight ahead. It isn't illegal. Such things are customary among the bureaucratic class. They call it a gratuity. There's nothing you can do, Sigyn. It's a minor flaw compared to what could be going on. Alright. Farewell. Farewell to you, whoever you really are. Okay. And I think with that, we're going to save and depart. It is time. Yes. We'll go back to the main menu. And then we will switch over to this view. And hey, how's it going? Thank you again for watching. Sort of as we continue. This is an interesting game. Again, this was a heavy dialogue episode, as I think the majority of these are going to be. But I am interested to see the story unfold and see what else comes of it. I'm also curious to kind of see where things go here. So I think that's going to be fun to continue with that. Let's see. Tomorrow morning on this channel, I will be continuing with We Happy Few, which is awesome. And then, yes, tomorrow afternoon, we are going to be playing another session of The Cold Ruins of Last Life. That is a tabletop RPG setting for a dungeon world, where we're all playing undead. And things are heating up. I think most of us have died at least once at this point, and so it's interesting to, well, twice. Now we started as undead. So I think the dynamics are about to change, and so I'm going to be very interested to see where things go. We are not going to be at full party strength, because again, there are conventions going on, but we're going to be doing a session, so I think I'm going to be very interested to see where things go. On Sunday, I am going to be hosting a game of Dirty Secrets, which is a sort of GM-less tabletop RPG. It's actually more like one PC one-player character, and the rest are taking turns sort of GMing. It's very interesting. It sort of takes on modern noir, where you have a single investigator going after things, and we're all providing obstacles and what have you. So it'll be interesting to kind of see where that goes. Also, a lot is randomly generated there, so we sort of are trying to generate a plot as we go. I'm interested to see how that works. Let's see, next week we are probably going to have as folks watching this might have interest, we are probably going to have our next episode of the Cyphercast on Thursday, as that should be the first Thursday of the month. Still getting our topics and all that together, so we're figuring all that out. Logistics are crazy. One of our people is at PAX this weekend, so there's a lot of juggling going on, and so probably there will be a lot of last-minute scraping of things together, as there often are for that, but we'll kind of see how things go. Then once more, 1 week from today, we will continue with our adventures here in the Ninth World and find out what's going on. So thank you all once again for watching. It is a pleasure presenting this to folks and getting to play it in public for some strange reason. I guess I will catch you next time. Take care. See you all of a sudden.